Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Go-To Food Pod, brought to you by Blink, the UK company revolutionising the POS game. And today we're delighted to be joined by one of the greatest chefs to ever walk this planet.
Amen.
A man who changed the face of food globally, a pioneer of multi-sensory cooking, the master of molecular gastronomy. He boasts 6 Michelin stars, has invented some of the most... 7?
7.
Where's the other one popped out of?
Dubai.
Oh, of course, Michelin are in there.
You keep getting caught out. You're not.
Dubai,
like
the Middle East keep catching me out.
Yeah.
The Middle East keep catching me out. I'm sorry about that. 7 Michelin stars. Has invented some of the most famous dishes ever created, but also once revived the fortunes of Little Chef, which we were just talking about off air.
Yes.
Back in the, I mean, you've done it all. The genius Heston Blumenthal. Heston, you're looking very well. How are you, sir?
Well, firstly, what an introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You did it all.
Yeah.
We just wrote it down.
Yeah. I even got the stars wrong. I mean, come on.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
Thank you. Yeah.
Unbelievably 30 years since you opened the doors of the Fat Duck. Once a
Yes.
rundown pub, and you changed it to be the most famous restaurant, one of the greatest ever. But you guys are doing some dishes this month up in London, right?
Yeah. What we decided to do was because it's 30 years of the duck, go back 30 years. It was bringing back old recipes. I realised that when we brought the recipes back, there's a famous Greek guy called Heraclitus,
Yeah.
a couple of thousand years ago, who
I was thinking we haven't had him on the pod.
you could have to, you might have to get a spade, he said, it's a brilliant comment. No man puts his leg in the same river twice. For the river is never the same, and the man is never the same.
Yeah, nice.
And so, what happens is we change. We change our tastes. They evolve.
Really?
There's things we like more than others as we grow older. We replicated. We brought back the old recipes, and I decided we've moved on so much from there that these recipes now, they're not good enough.
Really?
When the idea originated, did you think we'll literally just bring them back and that'll be fine? Or did you know that they would be different?
No, I didn't realise.
Yeah.
I thought there might be, because I've become obsessed with pepper, for example, the perfume of pepper. I then became obsessed years ago with acidity, then bitterness, then various other things. But when we replicated the dishes, and in the Fat Duck book, we got some criticism saying this isn't a cookbook. Well, it's not. I mean, you can't. I mean, it's very difficult to cook from it.
Yeah.
But it's all the measurements and the ingredients are exactly how they're cooked. Even the diameter of the pans that we cook in.
That's crazy.
We thought we'll just bring them back because they're great dishes.
Yeah.
Brought them back, and I've been tasting. We live in France, but we go to the UK and back almost weekly.
Yeah.
And I've tasted the old dishes. They just weren't right.
Really?
They weren't right. So it was starting again. So they're not bringing back the old dishes. They're actually new. They're new dishes.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And with starting again, was that to arrive back at the thing that you remember it as? Or is it you've just taken it where it needs to be now?
My taste buds have changed.
Yeah.
I think that my sense of smell has become more sensitive.
Yeah.
My senses in general have been more sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm more mindful when I eat, much more mindful. And maybe when I'm doing the tastings in the duck, they're generally in the morning. So I don't have distractions. So I think there's a benefit for eating alone. I think that's made a really massive difference.
I can imagine so. I mean, you are living out in Provence now, right? What a beautiful place to be.
Yes.
That's where you first fell in love with food. Can you take us back to that young Heston Blumenthal causing havoc in Provence, 16-year-old boy going to this 3-star Michelin restaurant? I mean, what are your memories? What made you fall in love with
Yeah, well, we were driving down to the south for the first time, France holiday. Used to go to Cornwall, and I was used to eating, which sounds fantastic now, Cornish pasties from the boot, an open boot of the car after coming off the beach, wrapped in a towel, cold, and these Cornish pasties in a brown paper bag.
Yeah.
Fantastic,
Brilliant.
Now they'd never been to a Michelin-starred restaurant, so of course. My sister and myself had never been.
No.
Yeah.
We turned up, the sun was setting. It was in this beautiful valley. And I remember things like the noise of the feet of the waiting staff crunching on the gravel, the smell, the intoxicating smell of the lavender.
Yeah.
This has become a bit of a fishing story.
Yeah.
But it's still there. The restaurant's still there, and I still have the same feeling.
Yeah.
There was the intoxicating smell of the lavender. Sommelier with a handlebar moustache. I might have made the handlebar moustache up, by the way.
Well, maybe not.
The wine list was the size of a billboard. They were pouring sauces into soufflés, carving legs of lamb at the table, cheese trolley the size of a chariot.
Yeah.
And I'd never experienced anything like this in my life. And I thought, I want to cook. This is it. This is what I want to do.
Was that the first time you ever had that thought?
First time. I played around with food at home.
Right, yeah.
But your mother was a good cook, right?
Yeah, she cooked cordon bleu food
Really?
from the cordon bleu cookbooks.
Yeah.
I fell down a rabbit hole, a multi-sensory rabbit hole. But I didn't realise I wanted to cook. It was writing the Fat Duck cookbook that I realised I didn't want to cook. I wanted to cook, but what I really wanted to do was to replicate my emotion of the experience in that restaurant. And after eating at the Beaumanière, I bought French cookbooks, but I couldn't speak or read any French. I live in France and I still can't speak French. I can say bonjour.
Yeah. Well, that's enough sometimes.
Good start.
Yeah. I translated some of these chefs' cookbooks from French to English with a dictionary.
So just going word by word.
Word by word.
Wow.
And I found that nearly all of the books I had, let's say there were 20, had recipes for vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
And the ingredients were different. I mean, the ingredients, some of them were the same, but the quantities were different. And I questioned, why? Is it because the chefs knew what they were doing, or were they just passing on the recipes that,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
they'd already been fed or they'd grown up with? And a year later, there was a book by Harold McGee called On Food and Cooking, The Science and Law of the Kitchen, and it was about the science of cooking as opposed to food science. So food science, you go to university and study it. This is the science of cooking. And that was, within a year of the Beaumanière, I started my food science research. So the two things happened almost simultaneously.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then in his book, he said, browning meat doesn't keep in the juices. And everything I'd read, seen, heard of before was you have to brown the meat to keep in the juices.
Yeah.
And Harold said, well, you put a piece of meat in a pan, it sizzles. That's the water coming out. And if browning meat kept in the juices, you couldn't have a well-done piece of meat.
No.
I thought, bloody hell.
Yeah.
If that's not true, if that's incorrect, how many other things are incorrect?
Yeah.
So I then questioned everything and I've got a coat of arms.
Yeah.
And my motto on there is question everything.
Yeah. It's a beautiful coat of arms. I've seen it.
Oh,
Hands
thank
coming
you.
out. Yeah,
Thank you.
Well, it's funny. We had Chef Adam Byer, Chef John Williams from the Ritz, and Phil Howard, and they said even though they do more classical food, the one thing they really took from you was temperature cooking. Like how you were the first. Basically, up until then in restaurants, you just cooked with the grill and the fire going, and if you wanted to cook something at different, sort of length, you just cook it shorter.
Yeah.
But you'd always cook on the same sort of heat or same flame.
Yeah.
Whereas they all learnt from you, even in the classical side, that like you've got to question the temperature of things and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the fact that at the Duck, I had the oven came from a second-hand kitchen supply company under the Arches somewhere near Chelsea,
Yeah.
and 4 of the 6 gas burners worked. The other 2 didn't. There was a gas. You could turn the gas of the oven on, but there was no click on the pilot.
Jesus.
And one afternoon, I I needed to use the oven, so I turned on the gas. Got no matches, so I went out into the restaurant. There was no one there.
Yeah.
The phone rang, and in those days, most people, or more, not most, but it wasn't uncommon for people to phone up and ask for a Chinese takeaway because of the fat duck.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So I said, you can come in for a terrine and a pint of Guinness or a glass of wine and some smoked salmon and da da da. Anyway, I think I must have been about 2 minutes on the phone. I went back into the kitchen. I lit a match. Poof.
Jesus.
And it lifted me up, and I ended up sitting on the fridge behind the oven. And I was laughing. I had this kitchen porter who was probably 17, and he was laughing. And then I smelt the burning smell of my hair,
Oh, God,
my head. Oh my God! It was really uncomfortable. So I did the hardest service I've ever done. I had a kitchen porter and me. He was not 20, less than 20. And so the orders were coming in. We only had 10 or 12 people in the restaurant.
Yeah.
But still, I'm standing with a bag of frozen peas and frozen chips on my head, telling him to take it out. There's the fridge. I know that's the oven. I know that's the fridge. Take it out and put it in the oven. Put it in the pan.
Nice for him though.
That is
got it on his CV. Cooks at the Fat Duck.
Yeah.
But obviously you opened that in 95. We are going to come onto that quickly because you took this 10 years hiatus from 18 to when you opened, where you were just working normal jobs and cooking in the evening. Yeah. And sort of you're a self-taught chef, which maybe some people don't know, which is incredible. But you did do a week when you were 18 at Raymond Blanc's Le Manoir à 4 Saisons, but you only lasted a week. What happened there?
I just did a week.
Oh, was that it?
So you actually aced it. You did
so you aced it, sorry. I thought there may have been like a fallout between you and Raymond.
No, he offered me a job after.
Oh, really? Why didn't you take it?
Because I thought I worked for my dad. Dad had a leasing business, and I was a bookkeeper basically.
Right.
So I worked for him, and I thought one day I'm going to have my own restaurant, but I'm going to do it myself.
But was it a good experience working under Raymond? I mean, did you learn anything? Because obviously then you didn't. You opened the Fat Duck, which goes on to win the greatest restaurant of the year 2005, but you'd never really worked in a restaurant before. So did you take a lot from that experience under Raymond, or?
I remember my first arrival at the Manoir. In the room there was a boxes. I don't know how high, but there must have been. Let's imagine they're 2.5 foot high, and there were probably 4 boxes of them, green beans.
Yeah, wow.
And I had to top and tail the beans.
Right. Yeah. So maybe you didn't learn that much.
No. How to top and tail a bean.
Yeah.
But at the time, I think it was without doubt the best restaurant in Britain.
Yeah.
And I have massive respect for Raymond. I think he's a legend.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Absolute legend.
So when you opened the Fat Duck in 1995, having worked for your dad 10 years and raised enough money to do so, you opened this rundown pub. But what is the food offering when the Fat Duck opens? Because we have had some guests of the show who've been to Fat Duck multiple times. Said it was more sort of bistro food at the beginning, but with a bit of were you triple cut chips on that early on?
Yeah, I came up with those. It was my first recipe. 1993, I think it was.
Go on, take us through that.
I opened the Duck at 95.
Yeah.
And I tried. So I wanted to know what made chips go soggy. And I thought it must be the amount of moisture inside the chip coming out of the chip when it's cooked that makes the crust soggy. So how do I dry it? I tried microwaving. I even took a pin and I pinpricked the chip while it was cooking just to try and remove some of the moisture. So I opened with triple cut chips. There was steak and chips, the most expensive thing on the menu, and it was £10.50.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, I can't break the £10 mark. Can't. The starters were like £3.75.
Wow.
Desserts were about £2.50.
Wow.
So what was the moment you came up with the triple cut method though? Because you tried to prick everything. But was it just trial and error? Did you accidentally fry it a third time or?
No trial and error. It was trial and error.
Trial and error.
I kept and then I found that the starch in the potatoes after the second cooking started to dry, and that formed the basis of the crust.
Yeah.
But that was 2 years to 3 years before the Duck.
So before you opened the restaurant, were you coming home every evening and just using your kitchen as a experimental lab almost, even before you opened the Fat Duck?
Oh yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I spent time with butchers and fishmongers and stuff, but I cooked. I trained. I kickboxed. I ran a kickboxing club.
Yeah.
So I trained and I cooked.
Wow.
And that was basically it.
Yeah.
It's funny that you've created some of the most famous dishes of all time, and yet the triple cut chip and the sort of runny Scotch egg are the ones which have been used the most all around the world.
I know.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It was just you and a sort of KP dishwasher when you opened. Those first 2 years apparently were bedlam, complete chaos. I mean, I know you had to you almost went bankrupt. How tough was those first 2 years trying to get the restaurant off the ground?
When I look back at it, I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I was working 120 hours a week. I was sleeping 20 hours a week sleep.
Wow.
And I don't know how much of that. So my diagnosed with ADHD, and I've had my bipolar diagnosis. Yeah. I don't think any of those had anything to do with starting the Duck. I just had this want to cook.
Yeah.
And then, which I later realised, what I wanted to do was replicate the emotional experience I had at the Beau Manière. I didn't have lavender. I didn't have gravel. I didn't have billboard wine lists or sommelier with a hand on my moustache. I might have made that bit up.
Yeah.
I didn't have people pouring sauces into soufflés. Yeah. I didn't have a wonderful valley. I didn't have any of that. I had a pub on the side of the road.
Yeah. But that's what you were driving for.
And that's what I was driving for.
Yeah.
And I think that's why my food, I'd say I'm in the business of emotion. And I just happen to use cooking to drive that forward.
Yeah, yeah.
But at what point do you move away from your steak and chips to, because there was a stage I read that you had an experimentation menu alongside an a la carte offering still. So how early on was that from you sort of opening in 95? Was it slowly introduced, or at what point did you go like, I'm driving?
There wasn't an overnight moment.
No.
What happened with the tasting menu was Two things, actually. I did an event with Thomas Keller. I can't remember where it was now. New Zealand or somewhere.
Wow.
And we were queuing up for a coffee, and he said, I'm just going to a tasting menu. That's it. So I started thinking. Then the orange and beetroot jelly, you know, where what is the orange
Yeah.
in fact is yellow beetroot, and what is the beetroot is blood orange.
Yeah.
I wanted to put that on the menu, but to put anything with it would have taken away from the impact of that dish. So I put the. I thought the only way I can put this on the menu, because I can't put that as a amuse bouche,
Yeah.
because people will just like,
Yeah.
you know, what is that?
Yeah.
So I created a tasting menu based on that dish.
Right.
And then the tasting menu was there, and the a la carte was there.
Right.
Now, by that time, I think that the steak and chips had gone off the menu.
Okay.
So there was a petit salé of duck. The menu, the a la carte menu had evolved.
Yeah.
And we put the tasting menu on. And I remember one night after service, I was with Ashley, Derek, and Gary was there. And we had a beer. We sat down in the restaurant. Knees are gone. Legs and knees completely wasted.
Mm.
Thinking, what the hell have we done? what have we done?
Yeah.
But it turned out to be a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Because Ashley's come on the show before, and he said that he did a couple of years, or he'd eaten them when he first opened, and even your a la carte menu blew him away so much that he's like, I need to work for
Any
Heston.
place I want to work.
Yeah.
Ash, bless him. He's been absolutely brilliant. He wanted to work at the Duck, and he came like 3 times. He kept on coming. So talk about persistence.
Yeah.
And saying to you, was he saying, I want to come and work for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. He just kept turning up.
Kept turning up.
Legend.
And yeah, brilliant.
What were some of your early favourite innovative dishes? I mean, when did you go from that incredible sort of little thing which sparked the menu, the orange dish and beetroot, to your sort of more iconic ones? What was that sort of timeline? And
Well, before then, I would say that the crab risotto
which came with the crab,
with the
frozen
crab
beef.
ice cream,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the frozen bisque,
Yeah.
was the first. There's certain dishes, I don't have favourite ones, but there's certain dishes that had a really massive impact. And the crab risotto with the crab ice cream, there were several elements about that. The risotto had crab and it had parmesan in it, which Italians, you don't put parmesan with crab. But crab has a lot of ribonucleotides, which are sort of umami-based ingredients.
Yeah.
And so does parmesan. Then I read there was a brilliant book by Robin Weir called Isis, and I saw a Sicilian recipe for crab ice cream. So I was inspired by that,
Yeah.
made the crab ice cream,
Mm.
and realised that if I called it crab ice cream, it had a different effect to calling it frozen crab bisque, which led to my first paper, university paper that
Yeah.
I did with Sussex Uni. And they did it with smoked salmon ice cream or frozen smoked salmon mousse. Same thing.
Yeah.
And people found it something like 15% more salty when it was called smoked salmon ice cream. Because the expectation when it's called ice cream is what you expect it to be sweet,
Yeah.
and it's salty, so it had an effect. So around that dish was the first time I'd say that I had the notion of multisensory gastronomy.
Yeah. Because so labelling the food is as important as seeing, smelling. Because like even your snail porridge, if you called it snail congee, I imagine people wouldn't be as, I don't know, wouldn't react in the same way.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, completely.
So
So snail funny enough, the idea for snail porridge, I was preparing a cannelloni of snails for the set menu at the Duck, and Gary, my head chef at the time, he came back. He'd just been to New York. He proposed to his missus. And I said, "Oh, where did you go?" He said, "Well, we just went to a Chinese restaurant." I went, "Oh, all right." He gave me a menu, and I looked at the menu, and it said fish congee, fish porridge, translated as congee.
Right.
I thought, well, that's really weird. So I thought, why should that be strange?
Yeah.
So when I was working with snails, so this is where the whole thing started. And if you call, because snails are grey and, they're grey and, what do you call them? Mushy.
A mushy, slimy little thing.
Yeah.
Yes, so mushy, slimy little things.
Yeah.
And porridge can also be mushy, and slimy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put them together, and it doesn't sound very appetizing.
No.
The name, if you called it ragout d'escargot, aux olives, au fenouil, and beurre d'ail, sounds completely different.
Yeah.
It's a ragout of snails with garlic butter and fennel.
Yeah.
Sounds completely different.
It's perfectly normal, yeah.
But you call it snail porridge, and it's completely different.
That's incredible, isn't it?
So I think that the first thing with the multisensory gastronomy was snail porridge.
Yeah.
Just finding the people, when you change the name of something,
Sort of what it does.
has a massive effect.
How big a part during all of this did your front of house have to play in sort of matching what was coming out the kitchen? Because a lot of your dishes are magical, they're dramatic, but that also comes from the front of house, I imagine, even doing the sprays, the scents.
I think I might say poor bastards.
Yeah.
Because, so for example, with the orange and beetroot jelly, in the beginning what they were doing was saying which one is which is challenging the diner, and instead of letting them discover for themselves.
Yeah.
And even recently, the dishes that are on the menu, there's so much story behind them.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's probably one of the hardest things to do is to get the front of house team to be human beings, but they have to carry all the knowledge with them as well.
Yeah.
And they make all the difference.
Yeah. How did you pull that off? Because presumably in the beginning it was just the waiters and waitresses you had. Did you have to start really kind of getting them into the kitchen to see the processes, to understand it in order to kind of...
A lot of work
Yeah.
and a lot of listening.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Apparently you sent your chefs into sort of hospitals to watch surgeries to know how to operate in small spaces. Is that right, or is that just a rumour?
A couple of them went.
Yeah.
It's a really, really tricky thing to be human about it.
Yeah.
It's like when I've done a lot of TV, and it's easy to say, right now, I'm putting this on the plate.
Yeah.
And I'm shaking the plate, shaking the pan, and turning the heat up. So I'm saying what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I say, well, while I was doing this, when I was 7 years old, I was going down the street with my grandmother and doing whatever. That's really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Really difficult. So you ask them to learn the details of the dish and the history of the dish, and then throw it away.
Yeah, it's tough.
Which is really tough.
Yeah, we had Daniel Clifford on recently, and he said Fat Duck's his favourite restaurant in the world still. And he said he remembers the first time he went there, and was it when the waiters were feeding you mashed potato, he was saying, or something?
Oh, forgot about that. Mashed potato with little cubes of lime jelly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it blew his mind. He didn't want them to do it, and then he loved it.
Yeah. He was resistant, wasn't he?
He was
I think I'll feed myself, thank you.
Yeah, but then as soon as they did it, he fell in love with it and just kept going back. But what was the sort of thought process behind that? Just to make them feel like kids or something, don't it?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I know. We've had so many incredible dishes, sir.
I remember the pomme puree with the cubes of lime jelly. The reason why the lime jelly was with the pomme puree. But spoon feeding...
Daniel Clifford.
Spoon feeding Daniel Clifford. I did it to Charlie Trotter. Didn't react too well to it. But otherwise...
He didn't deck one of your waiters, did he?
No, he didn't. No. He didn't. I think he recoiled, though.
Yeah. So many incredible dishes. We still want to get into those. But we should say that, well, before we get into your creative process as well, we got to remind everyone that this podcast is brought to us by Blink, who are the greatest POS system in the world. Heston, you've got 7 Michelin stars. If you're looking for a new POS provider, these are the guys for you. There are no hidden fees, no per device charges. If you run a restaurant, you know how painful they can be. They're clunky, slow, wasteful, expensive, but Blink's different. It's the first POS that needs zero training, and your team can be up and running in minutes. For just £49 a month for unlimited devices.
Good value, Freddie.
And we're going to give you a free month with the code GO to Blink, BLINQ. So please get involved in that. Do you remember some of your other sort of early multi-sensory experiments when you were sort of still getting your head around what it was and bringing it to the table?
I remember, funny enough, I had an interview earlier with Claire Bossy.
Oh, yeah.
Claire Bossy's.
Yeah, we saw Claude a couple of weeks ago. Lovely girl.
And she's lovely. And she reminded me that the first time I used sound in food in the restaurant was on a Sunday, and she came for lunch with Claude.
Yeah.
I had a sound box. Yeah, I gave them a water biscuit.
Yeah.
And so they listened to the water biscuit. So they could listen. They had a mic, headphones, and a mic. So they could listen to the noise of their chewing at the same time.
Wow.
So that was an early experiment.
And what did you think? Why did you make them do that? Like, what was the kind of...
Well, because I was excited about it, the whole concept.
Yeah.
And I wanted to test it out with some mates.
And just see like how that changed, how they felt about eating the water biscuit, right?
Yeah.
And that led on to other, obviously sound-based, obviously Sound of the Sea, the most famous dish. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember how you came up with that one?
Yeah. So from the experiment I just explained, I then started to use popping candy, to listen to popping candy, and then I put a flange on it, so doing, 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 doing. And which changed it. Then I played around with bacon and egg ice cream. So I put the sound of a pig on while eating bacon and egg ice cream, as you do.
Yeah. Why not?
And then I put the sound of a chicken clucking.
Yeah, right.
And it changed the flavour.
Yeah.
Because it basically flipped the brain towards a pig and towards a chicken.
Yeah.
Then after that, sometime after that came the oyster, and I had been working with a guy called Charles Spence at Oxford University. I did tests with him in his lab.
Mm.
I took all my sound kit with him, or with me, and I'm just trying to think if there was something else before Sound of the Sea. There might have been, but this is a sort of evolution of it.
Sure.
I think listening to the chicken and listening to the chicken and listening to the pig, the effect that had was really quite shocking.
Yeah.
And then oyster. So the seaside sound and eating an oyster.
Yeah.
And the effect that had.
It brings people to tears, that dish.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
We've had more. If anyone had said to me that my food had brought people to tears, I mean that's an ambition that I never thought would have happened.
Yeah.
Ever. And that dish, you know, people turn the plate around. Because for them, they remember sitting on the sand looking out at the sea.
Yeah, right.
Or running in jogging on the beach in a different direction.
Is that right? So they orient it for for them what feels.
Yeah, for them.
Wow. Which
cool.
sense, sort of taste, smell, sound, sight, or touch, do you think is the most underrated in fine dining? I mean, obviously you guys cover all of them, but is there something which you think other restaurants overlook?
So our introspective sense. So we have taste, touch, sound, sight, smell.
Yeah.
Introspective sense is the sense of ourselves. So when you feel full, that's what happens, and that's the most complex. There's 8 senses that we know of.
Yeah.
But
and can you play with that one as a restaurateur?
Yeah. How do you control that one?
Well, if you can personalize a dish, so the particular seaside sound. I mean, I had this idea of it was just too ambitious with Sennheiser to like your sound of the sea that is your childhood, and your sound of the sea is your childhood, is going to be completely different.
Yeah, right.
So if you could tap into that, would make a massive difference, even if you did it just for one person at the table. So that's why we've got. It's funny actually, Nick Mason,
Pink Floyd.
Yeah, who Big Duck fan. He came in. This is a long time ago, and he came in and said, "I think you've got too many seagulls in your
Sound of the Sea."
Sound of the Sea. And his son is a sound engineer.
Yeah.
So they remodeled it. But we found out after that the best thing to do is just you can put waves crashing, waves lapping, maybe fire at night, maybe a foghorn, maybe a motorboat, maybe kids playing, maybe a roundabout, maybe an ice cream van.
Yeah.
So if you put them all in, you can catch somebody out.
Yeah, that's very good.
Wow.
You also were the first person in the world to sort of take water baths from science labs to 3 Michelin-star kitchens.
Yes.
What was the sort of brainwave you had to go to the local university and snatch a couple in a van and take them back to the Fat Duck?
I used to work with a guy called Peter Barham, who's the head of physics at Bristol. And Peter was fantastic. I learned a lot from him. And it was in his lab in Bristol University, and I saw this catalogue that was about 3 inches thick. And it was the Fisher, they call it Fisher catalogue.
Yeah.
And I remember after service getting home and just flicking through the pages like manically, and seeing all of these bits of kit that looked so fantastic, but I didn't know what they did. I had absolutely no idea. Then I came across a water bath, which was designed to hold liquids at certain temperatures. So I ordered the water bath, and as far as I'm aware, that was the first person that had done that. And I got really angry, actually.
Why?
I remember because we started before Sous Vide with the water bath, but we're using Sous Vide for other things, but put the salmon in the water bath with the oil.
Yeah.
And the water bath broke. And they said it's not designed to go above 80 degrees, but this was at 60. So I wanted another water bath, and they said, we'll give you 20% discount. So I got cross. Then, not too long after, I had this phone call, this woman saying, I'm calling on behalf of whatever the company was,
Yeah.
Fisher or something,
Yeah.
to say how you can help chefs cook in a water bath. So, do you remember, you're too young, I'm not sure.
Go on,
You
try
might
me.
be.
Danny, come on.
Try me.
Deputy Dog.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he'd get shouted at and he had his earpiece and all these objects would come out of the telephone?
Yeah.
That it was like that.
You to her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
well,
was.
you to
It was basically like that. But we bought another one, and then use it. And I didn't realise. Again, it's only been the last 2 years that I've recognised what contribution I've made to gastronomy. So you're mentioning
Yeah.
the water bath,
Yeah.
the well, there's many
Multiple things.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
many
long
things.
list.
Multi-sensory gig and gastric. Yeah. Liquid nitrogen. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, you used it as it should be. Do you get pissed off when you see restaurants now just using it as a bit of a garnish?
That's a no comment.
You bastard. I think that I'm more comfortable. It's like seeing triple cooked chips. 5 years ago, 3 years ago, yes, I would have got very frustrated.
Yeah.
There's a reason I use liquid nitrogen. Size of ice crystals, what it does to ice cream. Its visual impact is secondary to its aesthetic impact. But I'm more comfortable now, and I think the more that I become comfortable with myself, the more I become comfortable with that.
So, what's the change been in the last 2 years? Because obviously, you're arguably the most important chef still on this planet in terms of what you've contributed to the change of food. But how come you only realise that 28 years after opening the restaurants?
My wife's helped me a lot. Coming out of my bipolar has helped a lot.
Yeah.
You must have been incredibly emotional, though, sort of realising the impact after such a long
And
time.
acknowledging it. Yeah. Does it feel good to acknowledge it?
I'm not sure if I've got that far yet.
It's good to start with acknowledging it, though. Yeah.
It is unbelievable. During that time, there was a bit of a space race. I mean, did you have like an unspoken competition with the likes of Ferran, Grant Hatchatz, and Donny? I mean, were you guys friends? Were you sharing notes? I mean, I know a couple of them, and obviously, well, they were all eating with you, but like, was there, because it was like a space race in the USSR, you guys were all pushing the limits of what was possible. I mean, you slightly ahead of everyone.
We all got on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we all got on. Myself and Ferran were kind of in some kind of healthy competition.
Yeah.
But with, who else did you say? Andoni.
Yeah, and Donny. Grant Hatchatz, was he involved or not really?
Grant,
Maybe not.
so much.
Yeah, forget Grant.
Tough, right. He thought he was in there.
Yeah, he thought he was. He's not.
Yeah.
Sorry, Grant. But you and Ferran, I mean, you were driving each other on in a way.
But would you visit each other's? Would you see him in the dining room at the Duck and vice versa, or was it?
Yeah,
was it hearsay kind of?
Albert, Ferran's brother,
Yeah,
who was
a talented brother, some say.
driving for
What? Just something I've heard on the internet.
no driving
Yeah.
force for El Bulli.
Yeah.
Real driving force. He came and spent a week's stage
Okay. Right.
at the Duck,
Yeah.
and I'd say we had a healthy competition, but not realising it at the time.
No.
Did you eat there?
What, El Bulli?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two, 3 times.
What were your honest reflections on the meals? Could you see a lot of your stuff on the plate?
Well, one of the things I loved was at the beginning they served liquid nitrogen. 'Cause I gave Albert the nitrogen pot,
Right.
and they served it and said liquid. They laughed and said, "This is really funny serving it to you because there's liquid nitrogen." At the Heston Blumenthal.
Really?
So they put my name on the menu.
Sort of like Pig Trotter, Pierre Coff and Marco Pierre White did on
Yeah.
his.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of people who worked at Muga Ritz come in and say that even they didn't get it as chefs, or customers they saw out front didn't get it. Did you ever have either chefs who didn't get working at the Fat Duck, or your customers who just couldn't get their head around the genius of your creations?
Years ago, when there was it was the first table outside of the kitchen where there's an American guy and he said, "I don't want any of your nonsense sauces." and Nigel, who's my maitre d', came up to me and said that. So I stormed out, and this is to leave the kitchen for 10 seconds was in those days was pretty difficult.
Yeah.
So I stormed out, set my eyes on him, stormed out to the table, and Nigel just put his finger on my shoulder, and I spun round, I turned around, found myself straight back in the kitchen again. Yeah.
I would like to see that play out.
Yeah.
What was your kitchen run like? I mean, was it a classic French setup, or because obviously you were reinventing the bounds of food there? So how do you lay out a kitchen with 40, 50 chefs or whatever it was? And
Oh, in those days, it wasn't 40, 50
Oh, yeah.
chefs. So now it's classically laid out.
Right.
Before, we had 5, 8 chefs, and the desserts came out the same part of the kitchen as the main courses did. So we had to reset everything. It was difficult.
Wow. Yeah.
It was very difficult.
that is insane. I mean, where is today's restaurants? We obviously speak to chefs every week. Where are the diners nowadays? Are they in a different place over the last 10, 20, 30 years? Is it harder to run restaurants? I mean, every single guest we have on says this has been the hardest year they've ever known to run a restaurant.
It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse?
It's going to get much worse. The growth of Wegovy, Ozempic, and Manjaro,
Yeah.
so those injections, they reduce people's appetite. So it's going to have a massive effect on the quantity of food that people eat. Massive effect on supermarkets. Massive effect on just generally what people eat, more than ever before. So this is going to be in the next 6 months.
Did you react to that by doing like a smaller? I think someone came and said,
That was on
maybe
my Apple.
jokingly, that you could do like an Ozempic menu, but I think he was actually being serious. Have you found that your businesses have needed to adapt to a changing market, or do you stay true? Or
Good question. Good question, because the tasting menu, for example, is so unique that it will still appeal
yeah,
to people
'Cause
like that. However, if you look at the a la carte, I think it's something that is going to affect most restaurants.
Yeah, for sure.
But you brought back a la carte, didn't you? Was
Yes.
it this year? Which is great, though, because it means people can come in and choose what they want.
Pick
Yeah.
and choose, have a little dip, yeah.
And we haven't actually brought it back. What we've done is created new dishes from the old ones.
Right.
And I don't know how to say, with the Ozempic, Begovi, Manjaro thing,
Yeah.
you either talk about that or you say, I've always had a problem with people saying to me, if you don't eat your food, was everything okay? And you end up feeling guilty
Yeah.
because you might just be full,
Yeah.
you might like it,
Yeah.
you just don't want to eat it. It's your choice.
Yeah.
But you're still going to get a bill at the end of the meal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, that's true.
So it could be a human thing of,
Just changing how you talk about stuff, how you approach that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, with your multi-center, if you could a certain song, a certain noise,
Yeah.
you could override it just for the course of the meal. So you could
Yeah.
put people's appetite back in their stomach.
Yeah, yeah.
See
You
what I
can
mean?
block out the Ozempic effects through multi-sensory experiences.
You gotta think
It's genius. Yeah, yeah.
Just think laterally.
Um,
really.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So just come to Heston, you just bypass it for the night, and then they're back on it in the morning.
Would you ever bring back sort of a bistro style kind of thing? I mean, obviously you've got Dinner by Heston, which is incredible, multiple Michelin stars, Fat Duck. You've even got the wonderful Pub and Bray, which is incredible. But would you ever bring back? I don't know. Now you've reinvigorated. You've realised how important you are to the world of food again. It's incredible. Are you tempted? Are you sort of hungry again to cook and do new things, or not at all? Or?
No, the idea of bringing back, let's say, French bistro dishes and historic British ones is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we looking at sites? Do you want a chef? He used to be a chef. I mean,
Come on, Freddie.
can we get Ben involved in this venture somehow?
That's the last thing anyone
Why not?
You're not meant to be involved in this conversation like
Come on,
that,
Ben.
are you?
No, I mean that's an exciting
Speak to
prospect.
my agent, Freddie.
A little place in Provence, or surely in London, or in the countryside. I mean, you basically touch everywhere.
Don't know.
Don't know. It's too early to say, but something's coming. It's quite exciting actually.
This is exciting.
I'm incredibly excited. Just quickly on dinner though, and I know we've kept you, but we need to get through a couple of questions because you're a genius, and we may only ever have one. Once you're in France, you're a busy man. Dinner by Heston. How did you want that to differ from the Fat Duck? And also, just actually quick before that, when you got your third star for the Fat Duck, someone says the third duck can be a blessing, some say it can be a curse. How did you feel? Like, did you feel pressurised as soon as you got that star? And would you like?
On the third star on the duck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought, why did we get this? Why do we deserve this? I'm sure we're going to lose it.
Really?
And I spoke to the Michelin guide about it.
Really?
What did you
Yeah.
say?
And they said, you've got this for what you've done, for not what you're going to do. Still didn't help. I still felt, for a year the same thing.
Yeah.
Going to lose it. It's going to be a disaster.
Was that the first of the 3 stars that you felt like that for?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first star was the one Michelin star that I thought we deserved.
Right.
The second star, my initial reaction was we need another sommelier. And the third star basically was shit.
Shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Does it maintain an offensive game then, or is it defensive? Does it change the way you, like in an ideal world, would you want such thing as a 4th star so you can keep on
Pushing.
going for something to hold on to?
Just don't. Well, if it means, it's more like just not wanting to lose it.
Yeah.
But does that change the way you?
Did you not enjoy the whole following year?
No,
No.
not at all.
That seems a shame.
I didn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah.
You've obviously created amazing cuisine for over 30 years and changed the way we eat. Does it then get frustrating at certain points? Like everyone has writer's block. You used to work in publishing as an author, whatever. Are there years where you feel things aren't trickling down as they used to? And then how do you get that sort of, I don't know, the creative process back sometimes over the years? Is there a way you can?
The more you try, the harder it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But someone who at the time, or still, is seen as this this fount of creativeness, was that even more frustrating if you kind of felt like it was going, or waning a bit?
Yes,
because you were expected of it.
It's like the worst question for me that anyone can ask me, and I don't know why I'm saying this, because you're going to fucking ask
We
me.
won't, I
this.
promise you.
No, we won't.
Is what's next?
Yeah. Well, because that starts.
What's next? I'm going to have some water.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah.
next.
Well, the French bistro is next. The classic French bistro. We've already worked that out. Well, yeah, we won't ask you what's next, that's for sure. Just quickly, some crazy TV shows over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible TV shows.
Incredible. Crazy, wonderful. Highlights, lowlights when you look back on those times? Because it's a different... I mean, you're working your nuts off in the kitchen.
I loved all of them. The one that was the most difficult for me was Crazy Delicious.
How come?
I wasn't in a good shape before then, mentally.
Yeah.
I thought, naively, this could get people to be more creative. And in fact, the show was based on social media. So what the food looked like,
Right.
as opposed to what it tasted like. I wasn't comfortable with that at all. The rest of them, they've been amazing. They've been amazing. They've been hard. Yeah, they want artificial havoc.
Yeah.
And there was enough artificial havoc that existed in the shows. And we pulled them off, all of them.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where we did this giant ice cream cone.
You did, yeah.
And I thought they were craning the ice cream onto the cone in front of a couple of thousand people in Gloucester. I remember thinking, do you know what? If this collapses, it's all right.
Yeah, right.
Because everything that we've done, we've done it
Yeah.
in the end.
Yeah.
So I want to say adversity, but it's not adversity, the word I'm looking for. And they wanted to create havoc when there was real havoc already going on. So the TV stuff for me, apart from Crazy to Delicious, had I learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that because obviously you're 30 years in the game, you're pre-social media, but your dishes would have been sensations,
Yeah.
even visually, let alone when you ate them. But I remember Jockey Petrie coming on and saying the difference between your food and the other restaurants, which we read out earlier, was that taste was always the first thing.
Yeah, that that was one of the complications for the production company, was that you don't need to do that because this is just for TV.
Yeah.
It's not for TV. I mean, it is TV, but there's, let's say if there was just 6 people eating it,
Yeah.
you want to see their reactions, like the lickable wallpaper,
That was very good.
which was,
Yeah.
and I can look at myself now, almost as a caricature of myself. So I'm making a stained glass window, or I'm doing lickable wallpaper in the kitchen. And so right now I'm going to do this, and I'm sprinkling on the dry powdered prawn cocktail. But I was being serious about it.
Yeah.
And it was like I was joking,
Yeah, right.
but there was no joking about it.
Yeah. But I read something where you said that TV productions, especially, were trying to. You were already this creative genius, but then they were kind of trying to make it even more eccentric, even though it was just you being a genius. If that kind of makes sense, you were already creating all this genius. You didn't need to then be put in a sort of Willy Wonka costume and paraded down.
Yeah.
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 Heston, you've been wonderful. We've got a couple more questions because I know you've got to go. But you've achieved so much. Is there any regret in a culinary sense? Anything you haven't done yet which you want to or want to have a look at?
I'm pretty interested in the gut and the microbiome. It's not necessarily culinary. I don't know. I've been looking at it for 10 years and I'm still understanding it.
Yeah.
So that's quite tricky.
Exciting though?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah. I imagine that would be something, your mind would really want to unpick.
Yes. Anything else that in my bipolar days, I thought I could save the world's water problem and give everyone drinking water.
That'd be good.
I thought I could do it by getting everyone to eat mindfully.
Yeah.
And so if you eat mindfully, you eat less food. You eat less food, there's less food production, there's less agriculture, and there's less water. And that water can be used to feed and house other people.
That's genius.
Yeah, but I thought I could do it all by myself.
It's probably not a one-man job.
Heston, you've done a lot. I mean, you're an absolute genius. Now, look, Ben normally does cook, but obviously running at a time, you guys have got a packed schedule, so we're going to send you off a little packed lunch. But Ben, what have you made for the little packed lunch?
So we've done a partnership with Covent Garden Market. The boys from the menu partners, big business there. They do stuff with people like Pierre Kaufman, the other fella, the little fella from Nor, Marco Pierre White.
My daughter's godfather.
Your daughter's
really?
godfather, Mr. Marco.
He sent me a box of sauces. I'll send them to you. He's doing some mayonnaises at the moment.
Is he?
Yeah. Anyway, the lads have sent me some wonderful stuff. They sent me some steak and potatoes. I wanted to recreate the dauphinoise that I think you ate way back, maybe in Provence. So I've done that for you. I also overcooked some steak, and I was going to ask you how to have not fucked it up. But we haven't got time for that, Freddie.
Maybe just a little less time in the pan.
That's all it is.
Or just use the water bath.
I should have had a water bath.
Heston, you're an absolute genius. Thank you so much for coming in. Would you come in again for us? Because I know...
With pleasure.
Yeah, we'd love to...
I've really enjoyed this.
Thank you. We've got so much more to ask.
I've got about 6 more pages of scripts.
I've got about 6 more pages of scripts, but obviously you've got to get back to Provence at some point. But if you come in for a second part, maybe in a couple of months, that'd be incredible. We finish off by saying, what is your go-to 3-course meal?
I don't have an answer to that question. Oh yeah, the man that legged the river.
Yeah. Well, Heston.
Okay, how about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Go on.
How about that? The 3 courses, the man that legged the river.
Absolutely delicious. Well, Heston, thank you so much for coming in. Guys, a part 2 has been officially confirmed on air. You heard that here. In a couple of months' time, we'll be back for part 2 with this genius. But until now, thank you so much for coming in. Have a wonderful time in Provence. And can people still get down to have your food at Dinner by Heston? I mean, obviously they have Dinner by Heston, but can they still have a couple of dishes from the Fat Duck at Dinner by Heston? I think it ends the end of this month, doesn't it? Shame. You guys have missed it. Unlucky. It's going to be in Dubai in September. Well,
so will we.
We're going to be heading out there to see
We'll see you
Mr.
there.
Franson. So we'll go eat there. It's at Atlantis, is it? Or near there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlantis.
Oh, we're all going to be out there. Well, Heston, I hope you're going to be out there? Maybe. We don't know yet. Anyway, Heston, thank you so much. Finally, what song do you want us to play you out with? You can pick any song in the world.
The man that legged the river.
No,
No, come on, we can do the song.
Yeah, no, the song we can do. Any song. Ever.
I'll put a Bobby Womack track on.
Beautiful.
We should put the sounds of the sea on, shouldn't we?
What song is that?
Well, I don't know. We could just put the seagulls on the beach.
Spoke it, yeah.
Yeah.
Put your childhood's seaside.
We'll just do a Bobby Womack tune, right?
Yeah, just choose a Bobby Womack tune.
Heston, thank you so much, sir. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Heston.
Thanks
That
so
was
much.
amazing.